Hi everybody, welcome back for step 2. So the first step is I have the backing from the frame, and we're going to be working on the chipboard, the brown side up. Also going to be using our square of burlap, and we're going to glue that to this backing and then cut around it and save the excess for later. So I've got my old scungy glue gun here, and I'm gonna put some glue around the outside edges. And as you know, we want to work quickly on this because hot glue dries quickly. So I'm gonna put that right on there, and just be careful when you're smoothing it down because that glue is gonna seep right through that weave on the burlap and it can burn you. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna take my scissors and we're just going to turn it over and cut the burlap even with the photo back, or the frame back edge. And then don't get rid of your scraps, because I find I can always use a scrap of burlap with mixed media, so we're gonna use that later. All right, now we're gonna do something that's kind of counterintuitive, which is we're gonna put it back in the frame, even though we haven't started yet. And the reason is there's a lot of spacing that's going on here with this project. So we want to make sure when we are gluing things on is that we're getting them, you know, straight with the edges of the frame and not too far over. So we have to kind of work on this with the frame on. So grab the back. Okay. Make sure that your hanging brackets are at the top of the frame. You don't want to get this all done and realize you have to take it out and fix it, but you've done it upside down. Wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would sort of disrupt your project. All right, so there we go. The back is covered. Oh, see, now I've got a bubble here. This might happen to you. Got a little bubble there. Don't want that. So I'm gonna take this out again. Make sure I've got that glued down. You might even, oh yeah, I should probably just do a little extra trimming here. All right. Make sure, yep, that's better. All right, now the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this adorable tutu ribbon. At least that's what I call it. It just feels like a tutu to me. Tutu. So we're gonna take that, and for this we're gonna use just some white tacky glue. And oh my gosh, wouldn't you know it, this is a new bottle. So I'm gonna clip that off. Make sure it's I'm having glue problems here. Oh, haha. You ever done that? Not forgetting to take that off. Okay, so I'm going to take this bound edge and put a little bit of glue on it, and I'm going to take a butter knife. We're working at the top, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just squish this right under this edge, and I'm just going to put a little glue with it as I go. Okay, this part is just a little time consuming, can be a little messy, but I found doing it just a little bit at a time is better than putting glue on the whole thing and then trying to do this little technique of tucking it under. It just made a mess the first time I did it. The great thing about doing the project ahead of time to show you the finished product before we start is that I can troubleshoot all these things. So when I go back and am getting ready to do this, I'm like, I can think to myself, okay, don't tell him to do that. So we'll do it differently and do it better, hopefully. I've been doing this just for years and years, like many of you have, and I'm sure you realize that yourself, is that sometimes you get it finished and you look at your finished product and think, wow, okay, I like how it turned out, but I could think of 10 different things I could do to make it easier. And that's just the creative process. Okay, almost done. Now we're getting towards the end here. I'm gonna clip that. Sorry you guys, I ran off my edge there. So I clipped it shorter, and there we go. The last edge in there. Okay, so here we go, our little tutu edge. There, you can see it better. Here's one piece of the tutu that's a little bit too long. Let's clip that off. All right, so now we're gonna do something very similar with this ruler twine. And you're all gonna get a different length of it. The numbers are all gonna be different. And if you wanted to start and make it more accurate at the 1 inch mark and do that, that would be fine, but we are going to use the remnants of this, which should be one long piece, on our card at the end. So I would encourage you to just sort of get over the fact that we're starting in the middle of a number sequence on the ruler, and we're just gonna do it. You know what, I put my glue on the wrong end, of course, so, oops. Okay, here we go. So we're starting at the top, using this handy butter knife, and as we're doing this, I'm making sure that this line right here is as straight as I can get it with that burlap. We don't want it to look all, I don't know, wonky. Now I can just put glue right on the burlap with this, because you can hear my puppy Oscar walking around and having a drink. Hello, Oscar. You know, if I put him outside, then he wonders what I'm doing in here talking to you, and you might hear him woof a little bit. So there we go. One of these days I'll have to turn the camera and show you my Oscar. He's a great big 90-pound standard poodle. Let's hear it for the poodle lovers out there. He is a big boy. Oops, sorry guys, I bumped you. All right. All right, here we go. See how we did that? Okay, so I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna put down this vine ribbon as well. Okay, I'll be right back.